welcome to Tom's Messiaen vlog, episode 7. It is evening time. It's been a long week of practice. I just thought I'd record a quick post. There's been something looming in the back of my mind, a bit of a decision that needs to be made musically at some stage. So I thought I'd share that since it was on my mind this afternoon. Okay, so right at the heart of the cycle we have movements 9 and 10, Tenebrae, Darkness of the Tomb, and Resurrection of Christ, movement 10. Now, I think if you were to look at the list of movement titles in the Livre de Saint-Sacrement and you didn't know any better, you'd probably assume that the Resurrection would be some sort of dramatic toccata, dance-like, celebratory, sort of joyous thing, Christ is risen. It's actually not like that at all, at least not. I mean, it is a great and mighty celebration, but in a completely different sort of a way. And it does rather take one by surprise. So we have the Tenebrae movement beforehand, which is, needless to say, a lot of quite dark, slow-moving chords, amongst other things. Out of that comes the Resurrection movement, and we have more dark, slow-moving chords. More of them, moving a little bit more, and very much louder as well, because basically you play them on full organ. And that's the whole piece, it's just these shifting chords. Leading up to a completely spectacular F-sharp major chord at the end, which he keeps you waiting for absolutely ages. It is stunning. So it really works as an evocation of the resurrection. But I think it takes people by surprise when you reach this moment in the cycle. Only if you've watched these vlogs and never heard it before until now, I've ruined the surprise. But anyway, so my question concerns the interpretation of Messiaen's tempo marking. He doesn't give a metronome mark, by the way, but he just says très long, very slow. Messiaen, when he says very slow, he means it. Always Messiaen is seeking to create time and space, a sense of eternity. We're thinking about the infinite qualities of God and so on and so forth, and of heaven and of God's kingdom, that and the universe for that matter. So this is what Messiaen has in mind a lot of the time when he's going for these utterly epic, slow tempi. He says très long here, he says very slow. These shifting chords, which you're about to hear, are written as quavers. So my question is it going to be a crotchet pulse, a slow crotchet pulse, or a slow quaver pulse? I'm going to play you both options and talk about it a little bit, and hopefully they'll sound different. I think they should do. So here it is as a crotchet pulse, okay? Okay, now later on there are some minim chords. Now played at that tempo, they're going to come across like this. Fabulous, isn't it? But anyway, that's that speed. Now, I've been toying, though, with much slower. And because what I want to get is that sense of the utterly epic qualities that he's going for. And I want to stave off that final F-sharp major chord for as long as is humanly possible. Problem is, if I slow it down too much, I'll just kill it, won't I? So I've got to be very careful. So I now need to get my head into the slower tempo I've been thinking of to show it to you. Yeah, I'll play it to you and then I'll say something more. Now those minim chords then sound like this. wrong chord there. But anyway, you get the idea. At that tempo, that feels huge to me. That feels just so dramatic, and it sort of works until I get to those minim chords, and they feel maybe a little bit too long. Perhaps there's a compromise tempo somewhere between the two. For me, that quicker tempo just sort of feels a bit sort of glib. It feels like you're sort of throwing it over your shoulder somewhat. So I just thought I'd share that thought process with you. It may not be remotely interesting, but this is what I've been weighing up in my head. I am minded to play this piece super duper slow. And yeah, I mean, in Westminster Cathedral, that's going to sound completely spectacular and overwhelming as well. Don't forget, this is played on full organ. I mean, it's a huge sound, and it goes on for a few minutes as well. These long sustained chords. Anyway, there we go. Tune in next time for episode 8.